Donald Trump is once again being forced to run, to hide, and to cancel his plans, and it is all because the world hates him. And they do. The world really does hate Donald Trump, and there has been no more obvious expression of that than at the Olympics, where Donald Trump has been ruthlessly booed, mocked, protested by every country in the world, and the latest round of humiliation is the reason why Donald Trump had to run away. A viral mockery of Donald Trump that has him canceling his plans. I cannot wait to get into it all and talk a little bit more about how I think what we've seen in reaction to a lot of the protest at the Olympics and a lot of the success of Team USA at the Olympics is such a microcosm for this administration and conservatives at large. I want to talk about it all, but of course I do want to start with the root cause of the world's hatred of Donald Trump, and part of that is, of course, his personality and his policy. A lot of it is also his current state of cognitive decline. It's where we got to begin before we get to the Olympics and the cancellation news. Why ailing Trump's erratic ego has world on edge, psychologist. Donald Trump's lack of judgment as he ages is jeopardizing global peace efforts, one psychologist says. Dr. John Gardner, a former Johns Hopkins professor who said months ago that Trump was showing clinical signs of dementia, told the Daily Beast podcast that the 79-year-old commander-in-chief's lack of impulse control doesn't bode well for the increasingly tenuous world order. It is such a terrible combination because we have a constitutional crisis of sorts, right, where a president has really disregarded all of the checks and balances, Gardner told host Joanna Coles. But we have someone with a brain disorder, okay, a deteriorating brain disorder, so they have no internal controls or judgment. Donald Trump's id is now sort of in control of the world because he has no frontal lobes, Gardner claimed. He has no advisors, we have no constitution, we have no checks and balances, except for the recent Supreme Court ruling. It's like everything just radiates from his id, and there's not a single thing to sort of stop an impulse in his disturbed brain from becoming a war. Gardner pointed to some of Trump's comments at the first gathering of the Board of Peace, I'm rolling my eyes, on Thursday as another sign of his proclivity to make momentous decisions, like about military action against Iran, in an arbitrary, confused, and paranoid way. Trump told those gathered what may happen next after the U.S. struck Iran's nuclear facilities last month, so now we may have to take it a step further, maybe not. Maybe we're going to make a deal. You're going to be finding out over the next probably 10 days. So in other words, Gardner said, we might go to war, we might not, we'll let you know. We're not even telling you on what basis we're going to war, or when we'll go to war, or what criteria would make us not go to war. You'll find out. If we can't make a deal and we feel like it's wrong, we're going to bomb. Trump, according to an Axios report published earlier this week, wasn't seeing enough progress with negotiations and was ready to begin military action soon. The boss is getting fired up. Some people around him warn him against going to war with Iran, but I think there is a 90% chance we see kinetic action in the next few weeks. One presidential advisor told the publication as U.S. military ships and aircrafts have moved closer to the country. When reached for comment, the White House criticized Gardner while touting Trump's health. So Donald Trump has the entire world disturbed with his obvious cognitive disorders, his decline, his dementia, the fact that, his cankles and bruises are showing. But it's not just that disturbs the world. It is the blatant disrespect that his entire administration shows, not just to our Constitution, but the world order and certainly rules of war. Donald Trump has said that he is only governed by his own morality, which I don't really think anyone feels good about. It's why when J.D. Vance went to the Olympics, he got booed. And I also want to say Kash Patel is currently celebrating with Team USA, the Team USA hockey team that just won gold. And we spent hundreds of thousands of dollars for Kash Patel to get to the Olympics. Does anyone feel good about that? No. I don't. But it's also hard in a moment in which we're seeing a lot of victory out of the Olympics to feel patriotic when the White House is posting shit like this. Donald Trump, after Team USA won gold, posted this photo of an eagle seemingly drowning a Canada goose in response to Justin Trudeau when the USA played Canada in a little hockey match, saying, "You can't take our country and you can't take our game." This is just classless stuff. Canada is our greatest ally. Donald Trump has tried to mock them, attack them, hurt them, cripple their economy. It's actually, of course, backfired on us because Donald Trump is a moron. So it's hard to see a great victory from Team USA and feel really great about it, which is why all of the gold medalists, most of which who have already spoken out against Donald Trump, probably wouldn't want to see him at the Olympics either, which is why Donald Trump made a little decision about his attendance. Donald Trump will reportedly skip Winter Olympic closing ceremony. At the opening ceremony for the Winter Olympics in Milan, Vice President J.D. Vance attended it alongside his wife, Jake Paul. There have been rumors that the president would attend the closing ceremony on Sunday, but those rumors appear to be wrong, or at least Donald Trump is just canceled. The White House has set the president's schedule on Sunday, which includes him being in meetings at 8 a.m. and 12 p.m., making it impossible for him to attend the Winter Olympics closing ceremony after it had floated that he would. Per the report, Donald Trump expressed interest in flying out to Italy for the USA-Canada showdown in the men's ice hockey gold medal game tomorrow. Security planning and Air Force One travel, though, was reportedly in place in such an event. The Mirror noted that the change in plans might have been in response to ongoing foreign policy disputes, but I think we have a better idea why. There have been protests all over Italy about ICE and their presence, along with USA athletes speaking out. But I think one good example of the protest that Donald Trump has been facing down is the fact that ICE protests at Olympic City grow, with Team USA renaming its formerly named Ice House. So Donald Trump bowing out of the big closing ceremony fun. And why? Why would Donald Trump, would the world boo him? Quite frankly, would the world boo that? They'd never boo me. I would. Oh, wait, you're telling me, you're saying that? One second. You're saying that they would boo me? You're saying that everybody hates me? You're saying that it would be a global humiliation? How many people? Hundreds of millions watching? Maybe we don't go then. Maybe we don't go. Of course. This is the man who skipped out on the Super Bowl out of fear of what Bad Bunny might say, what Green Day might do, how the crowd might respond, how the crowd would respond to Donald Trump with boo. It would have been a lot of boo. It would have been a lot of that on the world stage, where Donald Trump is again and again and again and again being humiliated. But while all of this is happening, while the Olympics have been a rebuke of Donald Trump, and in these moments it is difficult to feel patriotic, there are stories that make us feel that way. Now, there are several. There have been great victories. There are awesome athletes there with incredible personalities that get to shine every 4 years, and it's so cool to hear these stories. I've been watching a lot of curling. It's always on. Sick. I'm a big fan of curling at this point. Don't know how to curl, but it's a lot of fun. But one of my favorite stories, and I think a lot of people's favorite stories, is an incredible figure skater, Alyssa Liu. You might have seen her. She's got the cool hair, right, with the streaks in it. She's from the Bay. She quit skating because she was just like, I've had enough. It's difficult for people who, do sports so competitively and so all-consumingly from a young age. But she has been this incredible success story, came out of retirement, won the gold, just an electrifying personality, so much fun to skate. And then Republicans got involved. And you might think, okay, this girl whose father was an immigrant, she's spoken out loudly against the genocide happening in Gaza, the Israeli government. She's a proud progressive. She follows Zoran Mamdani, AOC. She's talking about transit in the Bay Area. She's from Oakland, for God's sakes. You might think Republicans hate her. But actually, what they said might be even worse. So after Alyssa Liu won her gold medal, Republicans said, congratulations to Alyssa Liu, Olympic champion. Interesting, huh? Interesting that they would congratulate her, that they would claim her story as their success. And you saw this from conservative influencers like Jack Posobiec saying, her father fled, China after he was persecuted for advocating for democracy, and he came to the United States, and his daughter is a gold medalist, the American dream. And it is the American dream, but it's one that Republicans want to attack. Republicans, they congratulated Alyssa Liu, Olympic champion, incredible performance. but it's a perfect encapsulation of the truth. They're not congratulating her. They are showing what the America right is. You know, Alyssa Liu is a first-generation American. She's the daughter of a Chinese immigrant. Like I said, her dad fled China as a 25-year-old under political persecution from the Chinese government because of his participation in pro-democracy protest. He went into exile in the U.S. because that's what this country is about. He would go on to have his daughter. She's an outspoken political activist on progressive issues, LGBTQ plus rights. She is calling for the freeing of the Palestinian people. She protested at UCLA. Republicans now are hell-bent on punishing immigrants in this country, including children and adults, on paths to attaining the legal residence that Alyssa Liu's father sought. Republicans have spent the past year of Donald Trump's term demonizing, terrorizing, attacking any person seeking legal status in this country. College students like Alyssa Liu speaking out, calling for the protection and calling for dignity and aid for Palestinians. They are attacking anyone, regardless of their legal status, who speaks out in this country. And now Republicans want to take ownership of this achievement while actively fighting against a future that could ever produce it again. That's what the American right is. They have taken this girl's achievements, said that they are their own, propping them up as a win for the right, while attacking the possibility that they could ever happen again. This is what the right is about. They want to extract as much as possible from human beings that they do not value, from stories that they do not actually care about, claim them as their own, and then discard them. If Alyssa Liu had lost, if she had not won her gold medal, she had not been such an electrifying performer, do you know what the right would have done? They would have said, oh, this is what happens when you're woke. This is what happens when you're from Oakland, or something stupid like that. That is what they would have done. That is what we would have seen. That is what the right is all about. They will take stories, they will squeeze them for their own benefit, pretend that they are theirs, without acknowledging how we got here, without acknowledging that the reason that we have this story, that the reason we have this champion, that the reason that this person has been able to flourish is because of what the United States is about. Not persecuting people, not trying to bring them down, but welcoming them in. Those who show and represent the values of our country, which I will tell you, immigrants do a hell of a lot more than any fucking person who supported Donald Trump. That much is true. I'm going to take a big sip. So, Republicans, her story is not yours. And do you know what? It doesn't even have to be mine or yours. It's just not theirs. It is hers. And she can do with it what she pleases. But let's make one thing real fucking clear. There will not be more Olympic victories, incredibly inspiring stories if we continue to have fascists run our country. So if you really liked the great figure skating, maybe you should think about the politics that got us here. That's my two-piece. It's my 2 cents. And if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video. If you stuck around to the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. Keep on fighting, y'all. Don't let them silence you. And until next time, I'll see you soon.